All right. You know the deal.
Are we tweeting?
We're tweeting. So I got this new chair, and it's like,
Do you like it?
it's this kneeling chair. It's pretty nice. It not gonna lie though, it helps with my lower back, but it kind of hurts my butt. Like I might need to put a new pad on it, but I'm into it.
Well, I'm off my Wi-Fi, so now nothing's working.
Oh, so you're still here.
This is my chair.
Oh my god, you're crazy.
It's so nice. Oh, okay. Actually, I'm just gonna do it from my computer real quick.
Yeah, do it from your computer. Hang tight, guys. We're just pulling up all of our show notes, links.
Bang.
I think I need to raise my camera just a little bit for the next show. Okay. Oh man.
Oh my goodness. Ben Roy in the chat?
What? Yo, he's here to chirp. Let's go.
I want to hear more about his bass plays. That's what I really want to hear about.
I know. Ben, you want to come on next week?
Bass Daddy.
Sorry, I have like 2 more links to pull up. All right. GM, hey Venom, we see you. All right, you ready, Dalton?
I'm ready.
Oh man. What a week. It's so funny because like every week we try to like put out a little bit of our show notes when we, let folks know that we're doing the show, but I just feel like it always drastically changes so much because so much ends up happening. But how are you? How was your week?
I feel like this was like a really heavy week. I don't know if it was just me or if we all kind of felt it. I think between meme coins and Blast and like trying to kind of keep my head above water with everything that was going on, it was pretty intense.
Yeah. It's funny. So I came back into the space in 2021, like kind of like peak meme coin season, especially on Binance Smart Chain. Like Binance Smart Chain was like the first chain I interacted with that wasn't Ethereum. And it was just something where like literally anything you threw money at like went up. And I think we were starting to kind of see some of those vibes, right? Come back with the Solana meme coin season taking off. But like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like most people got wrecked. Like some people made a bag, some people got wrecked. I'm emotionally exhausted, like personally.
Yeah. How did you fare in the pre-sale meta? Let's just jump to it.
It's funny when right before Blast launched, I put out, my video of like, here's how not to get wrecked. And like one of the things that I called out was like, don't fucking send money to random people that are posting like random wallet addresses. But, fast forward like 2 weeks later, and here I am throwing some into like some of the pre-sales. I kind of just hate it. I like always have preferred like fair launch meme coins. Like that's just like me. But like, I think seeing how well Bohm did and like the FOMO that caused, because that for sure like caused some fucking FOMO for me of like, wait, fuck, like I completely missed that.
Well, and I didn't even realize that we were entering that meta. Like I think the first time I saw Bohm was like right after launch, and I didn't even really know what it was. And then next thing I know, it's just going totally viral within like our little echo chamber, right? Like everybody's talking about it. Next thing you know, it's at 20 million market cap. And then after 20 million market cap, I was like, dude, fuck this. Like, I'm not buying this. Like, this is way too big.
Yeah.
And then it just went completely up only.
Yeah.
But it comes to a point where it's like, is this like cabal games. Like, how did this blow up the way that it did? And I don't really know.
I think it's a mix here. Let me pull up the Zach XBT, because he actually pulled together what people raised, and this was wild to me. So I think part of it's cabal. Like, Trippy is for sure cabal. Pokey was cabal. Deca, I don't know if that I would consider that cabal, but I think like the point is like anyone with any kind of following kind of like jumped in. I think these are the pre-sales that raised the most, but like I definitely saw way more flood the timeline. I think it's one, the market's pumping, right? Like, and people saw Bohm, they saw how much money they missed out on, and everyone just kind of rushed to the races to like launch a token. I think one of the things that I was really reminded of this past week is how PvP this is. Like literally we saw Bohm tank the moment another meme launched, that skyrocketed, and then another one would launch, and then that chart would tank. Like, it is a fucking war zone. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
And I think that this is something like you touching on that right there, right? Like the PvP-ness of the game. This is how it's played, right? And we're in rotation season, right? So like right now you have like, you had Solana memes pop off, and now we're having base memes pop off. And like, if you were early to that, then like you're dumping on the people that are now taking the additional risk that we're seeing right now. And like, we're going to get into base season and stuff like that later. But I think the angle in which shitcoiners are playing right now is just like, okay, like this pre-sale is coming from a guy that has a huge following. And then even like the Kiro drop, when Kiro posted that, he only had like 4,000 followers, and 4,000 just like pumped. Completely pumped to like 50,000 followers. And then he raised over $10 million. And then it was just like that one pumped off the bat, right? Like it ran to 250 million market cap, I think. But then from there, it was just a total money grab.
Down only. I think the craziest thing we saw was the Slurf, the Slurf pre-sale. 54,000 SOL raised, and this dev accidentally burned like all of the tokens when he was deploying the LP pool, and it was.
I was gonna say, please bring up the tweet. Please. Bring
up the tweet. like this is iconic now. This is like literally a part of like Web3 history.
My favorite part is that he looks like a penis, but that's
sorry. So, for me, did you participate in any of these?
Okay. I participated in Snap, and then I participated in Nostalgia. With Satoshi's mom, and that was it.
Yeah. So I did Snap, Nos, Slurf on secondary.
Oh, you did?
Shroom on secondary. Yeah. Dude, remember I was texting you, Slurp was max fucking pain for me. Like, I got in really high. It went down only for a day, but I was like, I think there's a narrative here. I think like the narrative of the largest fair launch, like literally fair launch token with this massive liquidity pool. I was like, this will just like, it'll send. But then I watched it go down, and this goes back to like, it's been a minute since I've like psychologically been in like meme coin trading like headspace, because that's completely different. Yeah. So I was like staring at my bag, and I'm like, wow, I'm down 80%. And I was like down 80% for like a full fucking day. And then it starts to recover. I'm like, okay, I'm in 2 SOL profit. I'm going to sell. I'm going to have my SOL because I had something else that I wanted to do with it. And I literally sold, and it just went like, and I was just like, God damn it. I want to.
Bro, but the exact same thing happened to me, except it was the opposite. I was like, all right, I'm going to hold it. Like, I'm going to see what happens. And I was probably in 20 or 30 SOL profit. And I was like, nah, okay, cool. I'm going to go to bed with this. Like, the chart looks good. Like, I think I'll make it out of here alive. Like, worst case scenario, dumps a little bit during the night. Dude, I come back, I was up 20, 30 SOL in profit. And then I'm like down 40% the next day. I was like, dude, I slept 4 hours. It wasn't even like I slept a long time. I was like, I had a call in the morning. I was like, cool, I'm going to bounce back. No, it was like, so like the PvP-ness of meme coin trading, I think is something that unless you're partaking in the space and really paying attention to how aggressive and how competitive the space is, and like even the rotation, right? Like Solana, this is all happening on Solana, which it's also funny to me because like I was such a Solana bull for so long, and now everybody's like Solana. I'm like, dude, go fuck yourself. But like now people are like, okay, are we going to base? And like now base season is popping off, right? And this is the attention game that I think a lot of people get caught up in. And I think the one thing I'll say is like, we'll just jump to it. How do you feel about base season right now?
So it's funny because like you go on the timeline and it feels like everyone's screaming base from, you know, the top of their lungs, but then you go look
100%.
on chain and it's like, you know, Solana is still over 2 billion, almost 2.5 billion in volume, whereas base is just like nowhere near there.
Right.
I think there's definitely some attention on base just because like we're seeing a little bit of like the Farcaster Warpcast meta where tokens are kind of being launched like within Farcaster or coming from Farcaster communities. And then there's like this organic pump because, you know, there are normies also using Farcaster.
Right.
But at the same time, we also saw a pretty big Farcaster token rug.
Right.
I think ultimately, like, I think base will capture volume in the same way that I think Blast is going to eventually capture volume. But I can see Solana kind of being like the primary meme coin chain.
Solana.
Yeah, for the season. I totally see that.
I have a chart here that I actually really liked. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. And I think it did a really good job of kind of showing exactly what you're talking about.
The outflows. Yeah.
Dude, this is, so on the left side is from and the right side is to. Like everything, this is from today. Everything is going into Solana. Like base is the fourth blockchain that is like in terms of inflows. If we go to yesterday, Solana again, top dog, Ethereum second, base third. And then if you look at the last 7 days, again, Solana is the main inflow, Ethereum is the second inflow, base is the third inflow. So this is what makes me question. I'm like, are we in like bull season? Like, is this like, are we starting to see, I think it was a rookie XBT tweet that was like, the biggest superpower that you can have in the space is like knowing that you're not the earliest person, but you're knowing that you're still early. So this is like going back to ordinals. It was the exact same thing. Bitcoin puppets, I saw it $400. And then I saw it again at $800. And I was like, that's too fucking expensive. And then I fucking FOMO'd at $4,000. And I was like, okay, like now it's like a legit thing. So, and then on Solana, it was the same thing. Like, are we early or are we just like kind of early, or like, are there still X's to be had here? And that's the question that I'm starting to ask on base. Like, we've been here, like I've been on base for the last few months, like 4 months, and paying attention to these things and seeing these things pop off. And now we're seeing like the main meme coins. Brett ran to like 350 million. Well, it ran to 450 million market cap. You had, who else? Normie. Thank you, Base God. There's a Dog and Me was another one. Blue is like the new one that I think is a Cabal coin, but like I don't even really want to touch on it. But like, those are like the main ones down. They're hitting 100 million market cap, 300 million market cap. And that's where I'm like, okay, so are we going to see a whiff-like explosion of Normie? Are we going to see a Popcat-like explosion of Dog and Me or Thank You, Base God? I don't know. And so like now it's a tough question.
I think it's a time thing. I think we have to remember that like a week feels long, but like in the long run, it's like not that long. You know what I mean? Like, I think Sol remains king for like shitcoin season. I just can see that happening throughout the rest of 2024. Do I think there's going to be $1 billion like meme coin that hits on base? Yeah, but probably I imagine, you know, it might take like a month or two to get there, and it could be one of these OG ones. And then it's like, I take that assumption, and I also, you know, it's the exact same way I feel with Blast. It's like I recognize how early I am, and I don't mind being this early because I know it's going to pay off. But I also know it's like it's probably going to take like a few months for the volume to even be competitive with some of these other L2s.
Well, see, and that's the Blast thing is interesting because that's exactly how I felt about base 3 months ago, right? Where I'm like, okay, this is eventually going to happen. Now, the question is, Are we early? Is it okay to be bidding some of these things right now? Thank you, Base got it 30 million market cap. Is it okay to be bidding Normie at 100 million market cap? Like, do we think this is going to 10x from here? Do we think that they have 30x's in them? And I'm like, I don't know, but it's because I was so early so that I have this bias, right? And the exact same thing is going to happen with Blast, where I'm like, okay, Blast starts pumping and something goes to 40 million market cap. And I'm going to be like, well, it's hyper financialized. Just like I think about normies are going to come. But that's why I think that Base is going to pump later in the cycle. Totally. But maybe that's just, we're all thinking the exact same thing. So then when shit goes up only, Friendtech Keys or Friendtech V2 goes live in a month.
And so I'm like, Friendtech, the token is like up to like 2 something. Yeah.
And so then like Friendtech keys start popping off again, and then everybody comes back to Base. So does that give enough momentum to these shit coins right now that we have like a month worth of liquidity? That's like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we already know that Blast is going to be incentivized to fuck. I got a mosquito.
I can't believe you just said incentivized to fuck.
Yeah. Well, it is, bro. So I'm just like, okay, so Blast is going to be incentivized. NFTs are going to go through the roof. Shitcoins are going to go through the roof because people are literally paid for these, like, what did we call them last week? Vanity metrics. Like these vanity metrics are going to pump everything, right?
Yeah.
But on Base, it's like, I feel like that Base is like the kiddie pool, and then like Blast is like.
I was thinking about this today because like the whole thesis around Base is like backed by Coinbase. Most retail consumers are going to come to Base just literally through like Coinbase wallet, right? I think it's kind of like Coinbase is that little splish splash, their little warm up, and then they bridge to another L2. Like, I think the Base ecosystem will be interesting with like some more consumer focused apps or games, but like the fun Ponzi stuff, not really going to be on Base, in my opinion.
I don't know. I agree with your take. I think that Blast is going to be like the home of the degens. And because of that, like we're already seeing like teams that are like really kind of focused in on that hyper financialization. Like, how can we make this as degen friendly as we can? And I don't necessarily see that happening on Base, but because Base is backed by Coinbase and the reputational pull of Coinbase and like BlackRock and shit like that, like if BlackRock comes in and is like, all right, we're partnering with Coinbase, what the fuck happens? Like everybody and their mom is going to start degenning something.
Yeah.
And they have smart wallets coming out. Denkun came out live, which is like gas over there is like 8 cents now because it was so freaking busy. But like, I think that it'll be a very easy onboarding system. I don't know. We'll see. Base and Blast, I think in my opinion, are both hard buys.
I think of my like 18-year-old brother who like, has talked to me about wanting to like come into crypto. And it's like in my head, he's going to set up Coinbase. He's going to buy some crypto. He's going to like move it over to Base and like, he's going to get a taste, right? He's going to get like a smaller cap or a mid-sized cap meme play. And he's going to be like, oh my God, where can I find more of this?
$100
Yeah. And I'm going to be, but like, I feel like I can see someone totally fitting that profile coming in, getting a taste of it and be like, yo, this is awesome. I want to spend more time figuring this out. And they're probably going to figure out like, oh, right now all the money's on Solana, or oh, all the money's on Blast. How do I bridge over there? You know what I mean? Like when I think of like someone like my grandma, I can't use my mom as an example because my mom last cycle was like also a shit coiner, and I'm just like not trying to bring her back into this world. She's like fully traumatized by it. But like my grandma, like there was like a consumer facing app on Base, like I can see her getting there and using that, but do I see someone like that bridging? Like, no, not really.
Speaking of moms, god damn it, there's a mosquito that's like flying around my face. Speaking of moms, my favorite mom story in crypto is Ben Roy's mom, Ben giving his mom a proof pass off of Mint, and his mom selling the absolute Pico top. I was like, dude, that's pretty epic.
Dude,
those were going for like, I don't even know how much, like 120 ETH.
All I know is she probably out traded like at least 90% of crypto Twitter, like 100%. Okay, so moving, we'll see. real quick, why do you think all the CT influencers are like, Sol is dead, we're going over to base now? Like, do you have a take on that?
Yeah, I really struggle with it. It's one of those things where it was just like Phantom. So like you guys have obviously seen like people talking about Phantom recently. So like I don't even know if they're on this. Like
What screen are you
uh
trying to show?
oh, there we go. Yeah, well like this inflow outflow, like I don't even think
Mhm.
they're on here. You know, and like this is EVM compatible chains and stuff like that. And it's just like,
Oh, you're talking about
what?
Phantom the blockchain.
Yeah.
FTM. Okay.
So like FT Ansem posted something and then wallet trackers were like following their wallets and he's buying like $3 million things with his Friendtech Keys wallet. And like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen to that? It's going to go up only because there's like 3 million, it's $3 million market cap. You know what I'm saying? It's not GM. But I think that becomes like a very interesting kind of thing that these influencers really do move the markets, right? And like how many
Mhm.
people have been using FTM? Like out of my entire friend group, I know one person. It's my best
You know
friend.
too.
Oh God.
I have a
Are
little
you
bit of shit on FTM. Just sitting there.
okay?
Just
Well,
it's
okay.
been there
So
for
see,
months.
my best friend literally fucking watches his CoinGecko and he's like, "Oh, booze pumping. Brush is pumping, bro. We got to get equals pumping, bro. We got to get it." I'm like, dude, there's like 12 people using FTM. And he's like,
Yeah.
it's gonna go. It's gonna go. And then like now it's running. And I'm just like, God damn it. But like end of the day, like I think there's like $300,000 worth of liquidity over there. And I'm like, okay, like is this actually alpha? Like, should we all be paying attention to this? Or is Ansem buying and then pumping and then dumping on people? Is that kind of the top signal?
I don't know. Yeah, I think you also have to remember like FTM does have pretty strong like technical roots in the space. Like Andre, what's his last name?
Yeah,
Cohen? I don't know.
running or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Like, went over there, built FTM. But that's good to know. Maybe I'll go look and like take my
Oh
FTM and
God.
go.
Max, if you're listening to this, you and Jen need to sync. You guys are in a group chat together. He'll show you on FTM all day. It's
Oh,
like
perfect.
it happens every single day.
No,
So
I think I have like a couple thousand FTM just like sitting in some wallet over there. So I'll have to check that out. Okay, well, speaking of other L2s, so really exciting stuff happening around Blast. I know it doesn't feel exciting, but it's like actually pretty exciting because the first round of Blast Gold is going out. I think this is starting to attract attention. I think I've seen more Blast posts in the last 24 hours on my timeline than I've seen in like the last 2 weeks, which has been really nice. Um, there's like a few things that I've been fucking around and finding out with. The first thing I actually want to go over, I'm going to look into this more. Dalton, did you see this alpha from Dingling?
I honestly have been blastless the last like 4 days.
That's fine. I mean, we were soul shit coining
Yeah,
and you could
I was
only
like,
pay attention to so many things. But this is pretty cool. So, you guys have heard me say this before. Both Dalton and I are pretty excited about restaking. We're both like staking Eigenlayer, and we have like a couple of different plays there. But there is this Renzo protocol, which is now they have like their restaked ETH on Blast. And so basically what Ding did to get exposure to the Thruster, Rinzo, and Eigenlayer was he deposited ETH onto Juice Finance, um, like converted. What did he do? He deposited ETH, then borrowed ETH, and then longed the staked ETH derivative through Juice Finance's vault. I think this is just interesting. I personally haven't done this yet, but I did want to share for those of you guys who are looking for like some interesting staking strategies to play around with because it is supposed to give you exposure to quite a few different platforms. And then at the end of the day, you also get some exposure to Eigenlayer. So anytime I see an opportunity to like get exposure to Eigenlayer doing something that is not on ETH mainnet, it catches my attention. So that's something I'm going to look at. And then speaking of Juice,
I'm actually really excited to ask you about this.
Well, they're like kind of doing a little bit of like a pre-sale meta. I don't know if you consider this pre-sale or like public sell.
So,
Um,
so I talked to a few people that have been like they have ETH on Juice Finance.
mhm.
And this was kind of like, in their opinion, like a money grab kind of thing. Now,
Mm,
they're raising at what, 65 million market cap, 70 million market cap?
I don't even have.
Yeah, I believe it's 65 million market cap. So raising at 65 million market cap, and like Blast, I don't know. In my opinion, like the top tokens over there are going to go to billions, right? But is Juice a top token over there? I don't really know. Like, so I think it's giving people the opportunity to get in early if they believe in Juice Finance, because like obviously if they get a bunch of TVL and they're the main lending platform of Blast, then it's going to be worth way more than 60
See,
million market cap.
this is where I agree with you, but I don't really see Juice as the main lending
I don't either.
market of Blast because like what the way the Juice protocol is designed, it's really for you to like leverage farm like
Mhm.
different things. Like that's not lending at the end of the day we're used to thinking about it. Like I think
Right,
it's
right, right.
bullish, like obviously the metrics are good, traction is good
Are we losing me? Or are we losing you?
before this.
Okay, you're back, or
Hello?
I'm back. Hi.
Sorry.
I was like, you
I
told me before the show it was me, and I was like, I think this
No,
is
it was
definitely
you.
you.
It was you at the beginning. I'm telling you, dude. I reset my Wi-Fi. But yeah, anyways, I kind of agree with you. And I've also talked to some folks. Like I have some capital deployed on Juice. It's not one of my main farms. I just get really nervous with this whole sub account thing, borrow at max LTV. Like there's just something that feels a little off to me as a
Mhm.
user. Maybe I'm mid curving it. I have no idea. But what I do know is the top 2,000 farmers on Juice are going to be able to contribute like 2.5 ETH in like a pre-sale allocation. Like I don't know how else to describe what it
Yeah.
is they're doing. That's what they're
I
doing, right?
I f I
they're
feel like I
like
feel like it would have been way better if they would have airdrop first. Like, if they would have airdropped first and then they raised a round later on, like, in my opinion, this feels kind of money grabby. Um,
is
and,
that
like,
common though for a project to like airdrop a token first, then like go to public to raise
no,
liquidity for
but,
that
like,
token?
I guess it's not also common to give your top 2,000 people that have, like, to give them more money. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Because like the whole point of this is like you utilize our platform, we reward you by
Yeah, this
giving
is like,
you.
you're incentivized to do this because of Blast Gold and stuff like that, and now they're like, "Okay, we'll also give you access to our token," kind of.
Yeah. And this
I don't
is where I'm not a lawyer, but I know this is where like I get a little nervous with some things.
Yeah.
That's just me. Okay. The other the other blast thing.
I'm actually excited to hear your take on this because I didn't really hear about it until this morning.
Like literally same. I didn't hear about it until last night. Um I just one really cool to see a floor of like zero point 0.6 on these NFTs. I think this was a free mint that just happened today. Also, the yield token itself is pumping. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I'll just show you. I think it's really cool. I didn't play DeFi Kingdom, so this is kind of like my first time getting to see it. And you know me, I like the games.
I was like, "Oh god,
Um,
here we go. No, she's starting another one."
No, just this, Cambria, and, like, 5 more,
Exactly,
like, I
exactly.
don't know.
Poor Hannah. She's probably like, "Dude, you're playing another game."
Yeah, but this one I make money from, I think. Knock on wood. This one's work, technically. Um, but it's pretty cool. So, basically, you come here, you swap some ETH for their yield token, and then you go to here, and you're able to buy, like, seeds, and then you go plant the seeds, And like, so I spent 20 yield on this seed. Like basically you get a seed and it's like a gacha thing where it randomly tells you what kind of harvest it's going to be. And each kind of harvest has like its different rarity tier. But look, dude, I spent 20 yield on this. And by the time this is done harvesting in an hour and a half, I'm gonna have yielded like double. That's pretty cool.
It sounds pretty Ponzi-ish. You're like,
Kind of.
bro,
I
I
mean, the
bought.
chart, if we look at the chart does look a little bit like a Ponzi because, like, obviously, as you
Bro, did you just hear what you said? You're playing fucking Harvest Moon on a fucking DeFi protocol, and you bought lettuce with a fucking like a fake token that everybody and their mom was shilling this morning. You planted the lettuce, and 4 seconds later, you had double the lettuce. Like,
okay,
no, this
actually,
is
it
or
was 4
double the
hours
yield.
later.
Excuse me.
4 hours later, sir.
I feel like this is bad news bears. If you double your fucking holdings in 4 hours, look, I could be mid curving this. I would not buy it. I don't give a fuck who's talking about it. This is not what is the market cap? 76 million.
76. But like you can see, like I think people are obviously dumping. Like,
Okay, I'm out. This is
you know what?
I'm not playing DeFi Kingdom Harvest Moon on my computer. I'm not doing it.
One, Harvest Moon was like a childhood staple of mine.
It was
Okay.
really cool. That's why
Like I thoroughly enjoyed that game. And I guess this is why I'm poor. It's because I'm gonna be everyone's fucking exit liquidity. Because I'm all like, this is nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, look at me.
Watch it run to $1 billion market cap. I'd be like, God fucking damn it.
I mean, I think I put like 0.25 ETH into yield around. Oh, stop it. I feel your judgment through the computer screen. I'm fucking around and finding out. And you know what? If I get some blast points and blast gold from this,
Do your
because it's
thing,
like
girl.
this is like a
Do your
daily
thing.
transaction. You know, I don't know.
Do your thing. Live it up. Have fun.
I don't know. Okay. On the more serious stuff, dude, Wasabi and NFT perp on Blast this week. Have you seen those announcements?
Yeah.
They
I actually got to see. I went on both platforms, and I was messing around with NFT Perp and Wasabi, and just kind of seeing like what was going on over there. I think Wasabi kind of confused me a little bit because they've been like an NFT Perp platform, and then like there was just fungible tokens on Wasabi on the Blast side. On the NFT Perp side, you could trade CryptoPunks, Pudgy Penguins, and Milady. Which I thought was really, really interesting. Like, I think that that's something that I'm definitely going to start farming. I think having, not only do you have VNFTP, which is like their future airdrop, which is the NFT perp airdrop, but then you also have Blast Gold. And then I think it's going to be a high use, like high transaction vanity metrics type of platform. Both of these platforms, I think Wasabi and NFT perp are going to be top builders in the space over there. So definitely a place that I'm going to be parking some money.
Yeah. I've deposited into the NFT perp like insurance fund just to get like some exposure, which was great. And then I have money deposited in each of Wasabi's vaults. So I love that you bring this up because I talked to the team about this, and because I was like, well, you guys are an NFT perps platform.
I was confused.
Yeah. But I think like you're going to start seeing like a shift from Wasabi because I think since they actually affect the floor price of things, like they're actually realizing like, yes, it's perps, but like technically it's margin trading.
Right.
So I think we're going to see Wasabi expand beyond, well, not, I think we're already seeing it, but they're expanding beyond just NFTs.
I'll be really interested to see kind of how that plays out because like obviously on the ETH side, the ETH blocker was the fact that gas prices were so expensive and like pushing through transactions for perps related stuff was just a pain in the ass. So they kind of shifted to this like settlement layer for NFT perps kind of feel where like people could have exposure to Wasabi and that would like move the market into like, it was an interesting kind of niche, but I don't think that there was enough traction on ETH for it to really become a booming business. And I think that that's why they're kind of pivoting here to Blast, which is like the hyper financialization, incentivization kind of blockchain, right? And now they're finding like their own little niche. And like you're saying, like margin trading plus NFT perps and that move the market. It's kind of, they're becoming like a powerhouse app.
For sure. I think, like, when I think of who's kind of, like, leading this charge of, like, NFT finance, like, 2.0, it's, like, NFT Perp, it's Wasabi, it's MetaStreet, and, like,
Mhm.
a lot of these builders that have, like, chosen to start branching out, like, even Arcade, we'll get into their updates here, um, in a little bit, but this just reminded me of 2 things that I think that's worth throwing out there. I think number 1, remember that Pac-Man on the last developer AMA that he had?
Mhm.
Like, basically told us, he's like, "Yeah, we have plans to heavily, like, get going, like, an NFT ecosystem on Blast. There's
Yep.
no other L2 that has a booming ecosystem, and it's going to be, like, a key focus of ours." Like, couldn't share any details beyond that, but we know Blur is coming on Blast
Mhm.
relatively soon. I think that's slated for April, and I think, like, with that little alpha drop, I think we're gonna see a lot more really dope, like, Blast native NFT projects come, and like you've always been saying, like, I think we're gonna see a lot of existing ETH NFTs potentially get wrapped and
Yeah.
come. And then oh,
Let's
go ahead.
see. I was gonna pull up a couple of these because like you talking about this right now. Let's see.
Well, while you do that, I also want to point out, so before Blast launched, Dalton and I hosted an X Spaces that was like Meet the Blast Builders, and Aaron from Wasabi also dropped a pretty big bomb on that space of like, yeah, Wasabi wants to help like the ERC 404 ecosystem grow on Blast. So like I think we're gonna see some really, really cool stuff, and I think they're positioning themselves really, really well, uh, to become a big player. Like, I plan on stacking a lot of money in Wasabi, and, like,
Mhm.
anytime I make profits from my Harvest Moon Ponzi, you know where that's going.
Good luck, girl. I'm sending this one out. Speaking of Ponzi's and kind of shit coins and stuff like that, this unfortunately happened today. This is a Blast-based project. It
Mm,
was SSS. They were one of the biggest tokens over on Blast, and then this happened. So basically, what we do know is that it was like a white hat hack, or at least that's what they're saying. A white hat hack is basically somebody that is ethically hacking so that they will eventually give back the money. But they found some type of issue within the smart contract. They hacked it. It went to zero, and then they're supposed to give the money back to people or to the
wait,
team.
what?
Wait,
Okay,
you didn't
so
hear about this?
Um, I heard that the smart contract vulnerability was anytime you transferred your SSS tokens to yourself, it doubled.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
people just like started doing that and like absolutely draining the pool. Like, where did you see it was a white hat hack?
Look at their, give me one second. I'll pull it up real quick. I have so many tabs open. um, Here's their Twitter. So let me share this here. So this is their Twitter, Super Sushi Samurai. And then if you go down to their tweet, we're working with the white hat on the safe return of funds and update and postmortem will follow. And then another one here. Hello, white hat. We have reached out to you on BlockScan. Thank you for cooperating with us, SSS team.
Okay. I'll have to check block scan for the messages.
Yeah, so
I
it was like I saw the block scan. It was basically like they just said like this is a white hat hack. Like we'll get back in touch with you. That was it.
got it.
And so like
Interesting.
now that becomes an interesting conversation because I'm like, okay, so like if they give the money back and they fix everything, like what happens, you know? We'll
I
see.
mean, I've experienced something like this before at the last NFT lending protocol that I worked for, but I think what's going to happen is we're going to see like anywhere from do you know how much the white hat got?
I have no idea. Well, I do
It's
know that they currently, let's look at the
because
current market cap is $4.61.
I think they
And
got like 4 million or something like that, right?
so the question becomes, is this a buy? Good
Is this a
question.
buy? I
And I'm
mean,
like,
it might be. It might be.
honestly,
Because
Jay,
what happens with the white hat is you're usually going to give them anywhere from 5 to 20% of what they hacked as a bounty because it's like, thank you for
Well,
not fucking us over.
if you're buying at $4.61, I'm like, pretty interesting.
I mean, I don't
You're
know.
like,
I think I might be doing, because that, where else is it gonna go? It's already bottomed out. Like,
it's at $4, bro.
where else
We'll
is it
see.
gonna
I don't know. Like, I really don't know. This is just like I'm seeing what is going on here. But that said, like if you check their NFTs, bro, their fucking NFTs ripped. So they're at an ETH 0.26. And
Oh,
like if you
wow.
look at there's 8.1 listed. And then if you like scroll back here, like just 10 hours, they're at 0.4. And I actually saw this because 0.34, 0.35, and then they just ripped up to like 267 on Mintify. They had a 4 ETH floor.
Wow.
And the reason I actually saw this was because I was fucking around on Cielo. And
Ooh, whose wallet did you track?
I was actually tracking here. Let's see. Do I have it up? I don't have it up right now. I was actually tracking the base scan or the base Farcaster channel called Reply Guys. There's a public list over there. That's the Reply Guys public list. And anybody that has a Reply Guys, like they have an NFT. Anybody that has a Reply Guys NFT is in this public list. And like Koopa Troopa, there's a bunch of other people that are in it. Tervo is another one. And I saw that they were buying SSL land, and I was like, the fuck is that? Then I just like follow the cookie crumbs.
Dude, I'm gonna have to check that out. Fun fact, as stressful as this week was, and as wrecked as I got on meme coins was, like Dalton and I have been going hard at figuring out like how to track wallets. Like I'm pretty proud of this. To be clear, I absolutely got wrecked, and this is not financial advice. But I found the Shroom contract address like an hour and a half before they launched, and it was all through wallet tracking with Cielo. It was crazy.
Watching you kind of go through that process and be like, okay, this is this and this is that. And oh my God, wait, what is this? This is the contract address. And then like, you're like fact checking. You're like, okay, this is this. And this, no, this one is this. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? You sounded like a total mad scientist. And you're like sending me voice notes and you're like, I swear on my life, that's the contract address. And then do you want to explain what happened, Jen?
Oh my God. So the winners of meme coins are typically people who either one get pre-sale or two are able to snipe in that first candle. Well, I had the contract address, had my little photon situation ready, had my slippage set to 75%, priority fees, bribe fees, all of that stuff. And I just basically I set up an LP alert for when the deployer wallet would deploy LP. I stared at my Telegram for like 2 hours, had Photon up, and then I saw the contract go live. Literally a second. Like it had only been deployed for a second, and I quick bought that shit and got placed at the tippy top of whoever sniped that launch with $1 million. Like I had literally bought in at the highest point.
So for the folks
possible.
at home, this is where Jen bought.
Just got absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, it went pretty much down only, and that was that. So
hey, but now I feel much more confident in my wallet tracking abilities. So
good. Honestly, like, and this is tuition, right? Like, I think tuition is part of the game, and like, you need to be paying attention to like how you find your edge. And I like you were touching on Cielo a little bit, and like I got to speak with Matt today, who's the founder over there, and like there are so many public tools that you can use that like give you so much edge. Much edge. And I was just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, he was like, yo, so you could check this, and this is a public list, and this is this, and this is that. And I was like, this is free? Like,
yeah.
Why is this free?
Well,
and
if you think about it, like this is the beauty of this space is that everything is literally public. It's just a matter of like knowing where to look. And I think for me, it's like, how can I generate my own alpha? Like, instead of waiting for it to get sent into a group chat or waiting for myself to see it on a timeline. I would love to just be one of the first people to see it on chain.
Right. So no, it's really cool. Really cool. It was a good experience. Solana shitcoin season definitely fucked us all up. But in better news, Today, actually, it was last night, I believe. Bitcoin puppets hit their all-time high. Wait, was it
Oh,
today?
wow.
It was today. It was this morning. So Bitcoin puppets hit their all-time high, 0.27, almost 0.28. I'm pretty pumped about this because, like I said, I FOMO'd in at like $4,000. So this is a good W. Also, I want to soft shill this Ordi charts. Now you can only see the top 10 collections, and you have to log in, and like there has to be like some type of reference code or something like that. I don't have that, and I've been trying to get a hold of somebody that does have it, and it's a ghost project, dude. Like I have no idea who created it or anything like that, but it's pretty cool to be able to like chart and track like the top 10 ordinals.
I am just seeing how close Bitcoin puppets is to flipping Bored Apes.
I think it's 20K versus 40K, 50K.
It's like, yeah, it's, would you say Bitcoin puppets is at
But
2.7?
0.27, yeah.
0.27. Yeah, that's like 17K. Bored Apes are at like 45. I mean, I think it's gonna happen.
Dude,
we talked about this.
So Node Monkeys flipped Bored Apes. So Node Monkeys are at 0.75 now, and they hit 0.8, and like they already flipped their Bored Ape Yacht Club. And then also, what was the other one? I think Quantum Cats is going to flip them pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
And then today, you know how like when people say like fucked up shit, like Doge to $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doge to $1, it shouldn't happen, but
Yeah.
it's going to happen because like it's just one of those things. Like you have to fulfill the prophecy. It is what it is, right? Yeah. And so I feel like people started saying Bitcoin puppets to 6 figures. And I feel like it's one of those things where I'm just like, that would be the most ridiculous bullshit I've ever seen in my life. But I'm here for it. But like let's actually
spend it.
So that being said, I think that leveraged exposure on Bitcoin puppets has to be pups. Have you heard about pups?
Is this like the derivative? No. This is the Rune project, right?
This is the Rune project.
Yeah.
So basically, last week I was airdropped a Rune pup. So a Rune pup was these guys right here. So this just showed up in my wallet, 0.0125 or 0.01295 floor price right now, which is around $1,000. And each one of these actually comes from this project here, which is called Pups. So Pups is a meme coin of the largest blockchain in the world. And it started as a BRC20 token. Okay. So this BRC20 token is BRC20s is like the original fungible token standard on Bitcoin. Let me tell you, it is atrocious trying to use it. The functionality of BRC20s is like total shit. The main marketplace, and no offense to anybody that built BRC20s or is building on BRC20s, like it's just atrocious to use. This like basically, if you go to the Unisat market, pups right now have dipped under $4, which is like pretty exciting to me. But you have to buy this in total. So like you see this right here, it's like $3,066, $3,066. So this person is breaking up whoever this is, like they're breaking up their bags because like you can't partially fill this. So you have to buy all $3,066.42. Like if you do not have 0.0466 BTC in your wallet, you can't buy it. And so like it becomes a problem when you come down here and like you see somebody that has like a $27,000 buy, right? Like who the hell is going to buy a $27,000 buy? Like it becomes like a pain in the ass.
Okay, wait. So you have your Bitcoin puppet, which is an ordinal.
Yes.
You were airdropped a Rune pup, which is another ordinal.
Yes. So it's they're calling them pre-runes.
Okay. And I guess I know Runes is like an alternative token standard to BRC20.
Yeah.
But so your ordinal gives you a pre-rune, which is the Rune pups. And then each Rune pups has pups, which is
200 pups in it. So like, or 200 to 230. So like pups, the 10.8K collection is going to be 23% of the the future pups fungible token collection, right? And then the BRC20s, the pups that we know now, is 77%. So they're going to migrate BRC20 pups and pre-rune pups into one collection, and it's just going to become a fungible token. So rune pups equals 23% of future pups. BRC20 pups is 77% of future pups. And then runes aren't going to go live until post halvening. So they're supposed to go live on block like 840,000 or 840 million, whatever the fuck, 840 something. It's the halvening block. So they're supposed to go live then. And then there are two main rune marketplaces. There's LFG and Ord.io that's run by Leonidas. And so those are like the two main marketplaces. This is where we come to talking about like being early versus like realizing that you're still early, even though you're later than the people that were the earliest, right? Right now, people are talking about pups at $4. The market cap of pups is like 30 million. So like 30 million, and there's 8,000 people trading ordinals. But all the ordinals people are like, yeah, pups is going to be like the biggest thing in the world. And like everybody in that echo chamber has been talking about it. And now there's like this kind of like almost like distrust within the community. They're like, oh, like what if we're wrong about runes? Like what if runes isn't going to be a thing? And now it's kind of funny because like they've been in this echo chamber where they've been talking about it. And dude, I'm fucking balls deep in this space. Like this is what I do every single day. And I didn't know what runes was until this week. Like I knew what it was, but I did not know what it was. Right. And so now as I'm going in the rabbit hole, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I don't know if pups is going to go to $1 billion, right? I'm not saying that. I am saying that a fungible token of the probably most memetic character on Bitcoin is sitting at 30 million market cap. That to me sounds like people don't really know what the fuck they're doing. And like, we don't understand where to go for these things or how to go about like buying them and things like that.
I mean,
right?
I will say of all of the ecosystems, I think the Bitcoin ecosystem has been like the most complex. Like I just bought my first ordinal, like how long ago did I?
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
like 3 weeks ago. And I knew about ordinals when they first came out, but like I was looking at the different marketplaces and like all the fucking wallets and the different keys. Like it was just like, I'm like, this is a lot. It's a whole fucking thing. That's really interesting. I actually think like it sounds like it's at the point where it's like you're early, but you're a little later than the people who were the earliest. And you know, the way I'm trying to play this cycle, if I can like stop getting wrecked on meme coins, but thankfully meme coins are like a quarter of my portfolio and the rest is like in staking and farming and like shit with fundamentals.
Real shit.
In real shit, yes. But like my plan was always to like take profits and go into Bitcoin DeFi. And I think like you could kind of start to see the pieces coming together.
It's
interesting.
Dude, it's pretty weird because like to this point, I've had my puppet since they're at 4K. So like 0.05, I think about it at, or 0.06 or something like that. And since then, I've gotten so many different freaking airdrops, right? And so now I'm getting airdrops almost every day in my wallet, right? Where I have Tiny Vikings, which is like, let me see, I wrote it down. Tiny Vikings is currently worth $300. Rune X is another collection that's $900. Rune Pups are sitting at like $1,000. And then I got a couple other ones in my other wallet, and I was just like, dude, these are just like, it's just unreal how many like chances at free money I'm getting from having an ordinal. Right now, I don't know how long this lasts, but that being said, I think it is so difficult to understand. It's so complex that like normal NFT people or even people that are working in the space don't really understand it unless they take a week to get really deep in it.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens.
Do you think this changes with like, I'm starting to see other protocols pop up that are like really focused on like BTC L2s, for example. Right. Do you think like the barrier to entry in terms of just like being able to understand what the fuck is happening is going to lower with like shit like that coming out?
I don't know. Like I really like buying an ordinal is a pain in the ass. Like, dude, you
Yeah.
have to put like a freaking, if your transaction fee is too low, then it gets pushed back like 6 blocks and you're like, okay, I'm going to get my ordinal in 70 minutes. And like that's not cool. Right. And then people can like jump in front of you in the mempool, which happens on ETH, but not at that rate. Like, in
Yeah.
15 seconds that like your shit didn't go through. This is like, in like 3 hours. Right. And like that doesn't really work. So I think there's going to have to be some type of centralization for fungible tokens to really work. But that's where BRC20s is kind of weird too. Like, you have to buy in full. There's no partial fills. Like, there has to be some level of like, okay, we make this faster, which Magic Eden Wallet has done that. Like, there's like some type of centralization that is like saying like, if you sell your shit, like you don't have to wait for the money to come through kind of thing. So like it sells and then you get it. And then,
Interesting.
but like, then I'm also like, that sounds like a hack waiting to happen. Oh God.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
Jesus.
the fucking season, dude. Like, we do not wish that upon anyone else. Well, speaking of Bitcoin,
speaking of hacks,
speaking of Bitcoin, I actually this is actually the perfect segue over into some of like the NFT Finance builder news. So, did you get a chance to look at what Arcade's like first AIP is?
No, I have not. I saw this in the show notes and I was like, thank God you're fucking filling me in.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who don't know, Arcade is like one of the leading peer-to-peer NFT lending platforms on the internet, and they have started to distribute their Arcade token. I think the Arcade token's actually been around for a few months now, but no trading has been live. And like, you can't even transfer the tokens. They're literally stuck in your wallet. So this first AIP does a few things. Number one, it's like a proposal to make tokens transferable. And I'm just assuming by proxy and the other shit that they have going on that like that means trading's going live. Two, they're going to do Arcade staking, and they're going to like introduce a new reward system that has like something to do with loot boxes, and it's much more gamified for like the top people on their leaderboard. But three, they kind of like snuck this in here. Arcade has confirmed that they're going to move over to Bitcoin and support lending on ordinals, which I thought was like kind of like pretty massive. So Bitcoin will be the first chain that they go to. They made something else in the notes where it's like, our plan is to expand to more and more chains, but I have a feeling it's like they'll wait to see some traction on Bitcoin before going anywhere else. And
I'm voting right now.
yeah, you gotta go vote on that stuff. I think it's pretty exciting. Like it's 20 million, or sorry, not 20 million. It's 2 million Arcade being allocated to their staking program, which is going to take place over, I think it's like 100 or 500 in like 24 days. And then they have 2 million Arcade tokens allocated to like just rewards, which is pretty dope. I think it's like not financial advice, but I'm probably going to see what I can do to get like max exposure here.
To Arcade. I just voted.
I like all the NFT finance platforms. I want to have little bags in all of them.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I definitely agree. I think that there's going to be a big push. This is where the hyper financialization of Blast comes in, right? Like, I think that it becomes like a really important conversation to have, because like these teams are going to try to find ways to make money. And like Arcade and what we're seeing on ETH right now, like, dude, ETH NFTs fucking suck. Like, nobody's buying them. Like, shit has been bad for months. Now, that could be a bottom signal. Like, I think the only real ETH NFTs that I'm like really paying attention to would be Azuki or Pudgy Penguin, because they have tokens that they could drop, and like they have like IP and stuff like that. So like, yeah, whatever. But
wow, that was so rude. Guys, I'm gonna get Dalton into the garden by the time the bull market is done. He will be firmly planted.
Honestly, I don't know if I would tell you anything. I think I would just buy an Azuki and just not say anything.
That's rude. How dare you?
Here, before, I know we're like coming up on time, but I actually do want to show you this real quick. This is on Parsec. So if you look at this here, this is the Azuki liquidation prices, dude. So this is on BendDAO. people have told me I'm like overreacting to this, but this is 39 Azukis that would go live on auction at 3.88. And then this is 167 that would go live at auction at 0.375. I'm like, dude.
What's the floor at now? I don't
Dude,
really.
you were literally so close to getting liquidated and seeing a cascading auctions event on, but
Again, another lending death spiral.
No, and I think it becomes interesting, like to have the conversation about Azuki, ETH NFTs, ETH gas fees, ETH lending, like all like these over leveraged NFTs become a problem, right?
Yeah.
But historically speaking, like the cascading auctions has always marked the bottom. So that's why I'm kind of like hoping it happens. And then the whales will come in and they'll buy their NFTs and then everybody will be happy. But something to pay attention to.
It is. The last thing I did want to mention, well, there were two more things that I just want to hit on really quickly. Also, Niftify, which is another peer-to-peer NFT lending platform, launched their Niftify Foundation. This is really just a signal that their token drop is coming. I know there have been people who have been waiting like 2 years for this event.
Yeah.
So it's NFT season, guys, if you are paying attention. And then there was this pretty insane loan on Gandhi. Did you see that Beeple loan by any chance?
I'm looking at it right now, but what is this?
Okay, so all I know is this guy got $400,000 as a loan.
Bro, what is this?
Which is a Beeple thing.
This is the most Beeple. Dude, if it's not like giant penises or like somebody naked in a photo, it's not a Beeple.
That is fair. You know, it always, I love NFT finance as like a way to kind of like gauge crypto collateral and like what blue chips actually are. But I'm not gonna lie, every now and then I see like a one-of-one art loan that I'm like, what?
I don't understand.
I don't understand. But that's okay. I don't need to understand because it's like as long as the lender is down, then that's all that really matters.
Whatever.
Oh man.
Oh, we did it again. Right. We made it.
We made it. That's it. We like, oh my God, there's like 447 of you guys in here. That's wild. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're going to be in New York, let us know. Dalton and I will be there running around, filming some stuff, and we'd love to hang out and catch up.
Well, that's in like 2 weeks.
I know. I'm like a little stressed and panicky, but it's fine.
I need to get my tickets.
Yeah, dude. All right, guys. We'll be back next week. And thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the show.
See you guys.
Bye. Bye.